Hello and welcome back to another episode of... No, this is terrible. Hello everyone and welcome back. So last time on The Brave and the Kobolds, you had left your mountain den for the first time. You have ascended, you have used the main exit tunnel, and you have emerged into the starry night surface world. You're bombarded by a lot of different sensations because it's a very different environment to what you're used to. The air feels warm, but a lot drier than what you're used to. You're used to sort of more humid environment. It's not cold, so it's nothing to sort of worry about, but you do sense that kind of dryness. You have emerged from a craggy opening, which is at sort of near the foot of the mountain, and there's right in front of you is a rocky slope, which is sloping upwards. So you quickly realize that you are actually going to have to climb before you can descend. Do you see what I mean? You have to go up before you can go down.
Hey, where are those big firefly dot things in the sky?
I read that they are called stars.
Stars? What's a star?
I don't know, but I know that the book says that they come out at night.
What happens to them during the day?
They seem to go away, and then the sun.
Where do they go?
I don't know.
That's a pretty silly book if it doesn't know, if you don't know what they do.
Well, perhaps the people who live up here are so used to this happening that they didn't feel the need to write it down.
Should we ask them?
Why don't we observe first?
Okay, I'm gonna ask them when we see people. I'm gonna cast mage armor on myself, just I'm a chicken.
Okay.
And that's my last spell slot for the day.
Well done.
We haven't even done anything. Both
Yeah.
spell slots gone.
I do have to roll another d20 though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're getting closer, but not
Yeah.
yet.
It's all fine. So you cast a spell, and you sort of this ethereal, glimmering kind of glow emanates around you, and then
I make it look like the stars.
So you've got like an aura of like little glimmering points of light. It's very quiet. The only sound is really just this breeze blowing through between the mountain and this kind of slope. The slope, there isn't a path, so it's quite tricky. It's definitely uneven, and it's strewn with stones and crumbling slabs of slate. Now, Meeza still has Grub in a cart, right?
That's correct, yes.
That is definitely going to break.
Oh no.
Let's do it this way. If you could roll for Dex, like a Dex save, and see you react in time to
Save
like
Grub?
one of the. Well, no comment. That's a 20. Okay, you.
30-20.
Yeah, you grab. You hear a snap, like a splintering sound of the wood of this very, very simply assembled cart, which worked perfectly well in sort of smooth tunnels, but here it's just been jostled around so much that both the wheels pop off. And you're able to just sort of grab Grub. You're able to grab Grub just in time as the cart and the contents kind of spills back down, all the way back down, and sort of lands in a heap. Grub isn't even perturbed by this. He just like makes a weird squishy noise.
Oh my god, he's so scared, guys! Help!
I'll help. I'll carefully pick up Grub.
Oh, be careful! He's delicate.
How is he feeling?
I don't know much about animals.
So the cart is broken, or
It's down there.
I will retrieve it. Please care for Grub, and I'll hand him over to you.
Okay.
And I just hand him over to you.
I'm like holding him like a person who doesn't know how to hold a baby.
I adjust your arms so you're holding him properly,
Oh,
and then I start to climb down.
Max sort of looks over the edge, says, "Oh, do be careful."
Of course. Can I use my athletics to climb?
Yes. I mean, the way I envisioned this slope is I thought it would be. It's harder to climb than it is to go down, but there are lots of bits of loose stone. So
you're kind of skidding down.
Yeah, but I'd say.
Okay. So he would be using his strength to kind of stay standing up while he sort of skids down on the loose stones.
Well, yeah.
A 15?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You wobble a little bit, but you get down there safe and sound.
Like a surfer.
Yeah.
But we all have to go down the slope and then back up the slope to go out of the kind of.
Basically, what you have is you've got the face of the mountain, and then you have so it's a bit like a trench. You're at the bottom of a trench, and then there's this slope, but after the slope, it starts going down.
Okay.
You're like in a kind of a sort of a trench, like that's where the opening into the cave is. You could probably deduce that this is probably where Roz arrived, and so this trench was actually formed by her body, like excavating.
Okay. Yeah.
Like clawing her way down into this mountain kind of thing. So yeah, Zaffre, you arrive at the bottom of this sort of trench, and sure enough, there's just a pile of splintered wood, and a wheel.
Okay, I'll collect the wheel, any wheels that are still salvageable, and and I imagine there was like a cushion and stuff in there for.
Yeah, there was like cushion. There was maybe just odds and ends that Meeza couldn't fit in their their bag.
So I'll like pack all that up.
What a good boy! What a good boy, Zaffre.
He's a knight. He has to be chivalrous and considerate. So he will, he'll gather that up and then climb back up. The cart did not survive.
What are we gonna do?
I believe we will have to fashion a sort of sling, Baby
Bjorn. You hear a voice from above. You hear it like an ethereal, echoing voice just whisper, "Baby Bjorn."
Actually, could I have a look at the
I'll hand over all this stuff.
wheel?
Yeah.
But can't he just like walk?
Oh, can Grub walk? I sort of put him on the ground, and he just sort of lays there.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't walk.
If I could and I sort of put the wheels next to where they're supposed to be attached, sort of lay it all out, and I cast mending on the little cart.
This spell repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link, 2 halves of broken key. It's a cantrip, right?
Yes.
So I guess to get both. Well, you have one wheel though.
Yes.
Go on there. You have to cast it twice though, because you have to attach both of the wheels.
I sort of walk around and attach the wheels and do my little prayers.
Okay.
It doesn't look great still.
No, it's definitely in worse shape than it was, but I guess it's functional.
I'll help, like adding bits of string, kind of tying things together, and
And I'm gonna reach my hand out and sort of wave once they have it all done. I'm gonna cast prestidigitation and clean it. So because Grub is very particular. He cannot sleep on anything that's dirty.
You still have a cushion, so you can sort of
Kind of
separate.
put him on the cushion, and now it's more like one of those carts that you like, the two-wheelers that you have to just sort of lug behind.
Yeah, it's a kind of reverse wheelbarrow, but it can just about hold Grub now, and you're about halfway up this slope, and there's still a bit of slope to go, so yeah.
Would somebody who's probably stronger than me want to lug this, please? I want one of you to do it.
It is your pet. You must care for it, and I'll go ahead.
But you are the brave and chivalrous knight.
Yes, and I must protect you. I must have my hands free with which to protect you. And he goes up with his sword in his hand.
I look at Noki. You work with plants, right? I guess animals are sort of in that category. He's really sweet.
I can help push the cart, but I'm already carrying so much. I'm not that strong.
Yeah, Noki does have probably the biggest pack. What's in the pack? I didn't ask you.
Mushrooms.
It's just mushrooms. Okay.
I'm just imagining there's like poking out of all the seams in your bag. I look at Og now.
Sorry, what is it, dearie?
You and me, and I need.
I'm sorry, what was that? You need to enunciate.
Help. I need help.
Remember your conversation with Ross, dearie.
I know she said if I used these words, I would get what I wanted. It's not working.
Please.
Help me, please.
Very well. I sort of, I don't know exactly how this cart looks, but now I'm imagining it as one of those things like toddlers can sit in, and you carry them basically on two wheels with two little handles on them.
Yeah.
So I take one of the sides of the handle and sort of help pull.
Thank you.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome.
Well, phase 1 of my Baby Bjorn plan has been foiled, but never mind. Will you keep us?
We'll get there eventually.
We'll get there. You get
He just wants to draw art of somebody holding a grub in a Baby Bjorn. That's all.
Look, a baby Bjorn is so much easier to draw than a cart, especially now a ramshackle cart. It does take you all a while because now you're very sort of carefully pushing/pulling this cart full of grub, but you eventually arrive at a kind of ledge. So you at the top of this trench. And this ledge, this kind of rock shelf, overlooks the valley below, which at this point is shrouded in night. It's definitely nighttime now. There are more stars. The sun has completely set. It's getting a bit cooler. You can't sort of make out a lot of detail. You can see sort of shapes. There's definitely sort of more elevated terrain around you, closer to you, further along, it gets a bit sort of lumpy and bumpy, but you can't sort of tell what it is. If it's more mountain, if it's more rocks, you don't know. And quite far off, you see lots of lights, but they're sort of flickering, and you had candles in the den. You definitely had things like fire and sources of magical light as well. So it looks like that. It's nothing sort of out of the ordinary. Perhaps it's just the concentration of light that is a little bit surprising to you. There's a lot of light concentrated far off.
Zaffre is looking, with his hand over his eyes, not to shield his eyes, just because that's what he thinks he has to do, to look far away.
But why are you doing that?
I'm concentrating, and he's looking very intently at this thing of light in the distance.
Is that where we need to go?
I believe it is.
Doesn't light mean like other dens or burrows?
It may, yes, which is why we should approach it quietly and carefully.
And ask them about the stars.
Yes.
Yes, but first, we will reconnaissance mission.
What's
that?
Yeah.
That is when you learn about something before you do it.
That
How
sounds like a good
we
idea.
About it before we do it.
Well, we will go close to the lights, but not walk straight up. And then we will be very quiet and small, and we will listen and watch and see what they do. And then we will decide if we should speak to them or not. We need to see if they are friendly.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I'm with her.
All right. But we must be quiet.
Okay. But we have Grub Hub.
Stop.
But Grub is quiet.
Grub is very quiet. We all must stop speaking unless we need to. And if you must speak, say it quietly.
But when do we know when we have to speak?
Quietly.
Now. And they'll start walking.
You have left this ledge. You find a kind of path. It's just sort of where the ground is less uneven, and now it starts sloping a little bit more gently. You're sort of near. Would you know what they are? This is the thing. You feel this sort of sensation beneath your feet, which is very cool and kind of springy, sort of fibrous, but you can't really sort of make out what it is. It's not something that you've seen before. Possibly Noki might know or might have heard of it.
I reach down and I grab like a big whatever bunch of this and I hold it out to Noki and go, "What is this?"
I don't know. What is it?
It's grass.
Okay.
Meeza is holding just a clump of grass in your face.
I taste it.
That is 100% what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so glad that you did that. Oh my god.
It tastes, not that Noki would know, but it tastes like grass. So Noki sort of munches, takes a bite. It's not the best
It's very
taste.
stringy.
Yeah.
Is it? What is it? Is it good, or is it a thing? What is it?
It tastes weird, like bit dirt-ish, but no, I don't
Was
know.
it in one of our 4 books that we had access to?
I don't know how that tastes though.
This seems to be, and I carefully, pull out of my bag my book of fairy tales.
Oh my god, you stole a book!
And I didn't steal it.
But now,
Yeah.
they only have 3 books.
Yes, I know. I will return it. It and flips through a few pages, and then shows like one of the drawings in the book, and there's like a picture of a castle, with the path going up to it, and there's sort of green.
Yeah, exactly. There's like
and
some.
then he sort of gestures to this green. I think this is what they are. This is the representation of. It's supposed to be there.
But that's great. That's not.
I don't think you're supposed to eat it.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to stay on the ground.
Do we know does it say what this thing is called?
No.
And I just start.
Well, and I sort of grab another tuff, and I prestidigitation the dirt away. And then I stick it in my pocket, and I go, well, I guess I'm asking when we get to the light.
Yeah, I was also gonna start just pocketing hands full, like in between.
I should have seen this. Coming.
As someone with a positive wisdom modifier,
Mhm.
I do too.
can we say Ag has a little, like, a notebook or something?
Yes.
Where she can write down all the things they've discovered.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: you have read the leggings of the Knits, which is Zaffre's book. You absolutely know that this is grass. You know that you don't know exactly what it is for, if it has a purpose, but you know that there's like passages in the book that refer to like the rolling green hills of grass.
The
or
rolling
something.
meadows.
Yeah, exactly. You've just seen the smallest member of your group just shove a bunch of this into her mouth. Another one just keep pulling stuff up and stuffing it in their bag, and the third consult a book and just go shake their heads. Book says no, so it's up to you.
Could I just Meeza?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I have a little look at what you have there?
Oh yeah, and I take it out of my pocket and I give it to her.
I give it a look, and then I gesture to Zaffre, like, the book. Zaffre.
Yeah, I compare them.
I have read about this. This is grass. And grass makes meadows.
What's a meado?
What's that?
It's when a lot of grass comes together.
But why does it come together?
So a pack of grass is called a meado?
Yes.
What's it for?
For being on the ground.
Yes,
And
it
walking
keeps the ground in.
It keeps but then, so...
I said high wisdom, not high intelligence.
Okay. Well, and I'm going to take it back and say, I'm going to still ask about what it does, because that seems weird.
Certainly does not. When we build a new cavern, we ensure that the roof does not collapse in on us.
That's true.
So here, we have the problem of the ground getting away.
Does it float into the stars?
Well, I don't know. We'll just have to watch. You can't start making conclusions so quickly.
I think what you're trying to say, and I did actually see a phrase in one of our books when you want to test something, that is called a hypotenuse.
I would like to go ahead and scout.
Yeah, I'm following.
I want to stealth away from them toward the light.
Also, can I just ask a quick in-between question?
Yes.
We all have dark vision as
Yes.
kobolds, and basically we've all kind of lived underground for a long while.
Mm-hmm.
Do we? Maybe weird, but do we know like how certain colors look? Like colors that we don't have underground. For example, I don't think we have green.
I think probably you would have a
some.
kind of. You wouldn't have grass green. You wouldn't have that kind of very bright green, but you
More like a mossy green, probably.
Yeah. And I think also dark vision, the way I'm envisioning it is that it's a bit like night vision goggles in my mind. So you're not really discerning colors so much. You're discerning texture, and that's probably why you were so sort of freaked out.
By that, you can see color, but it has to be like right up close, like in your face.
Which is, I'm assuming, what we were doing with the
grass. Yeah. Putting all those clues together by holding the grass right up to your face and consulting the book, you were able to discern that grass is green. When it comes together, it makes a miado, and that this is your hypotenuse.
All right. Amazing.
The night wears on. There's trees now, and this is going to be the death of me. What you see, or kind of just about make out, is that there is, to the left of you, there is a mass of very tall, shadowy things. And while everything else seems very quiet and still, you get a sense that there are some noises, like some creaks. Every now and again, you hear like a woo, or like a squawking noise, but you're not really sure what it is. But they're all coming from this area. To the right, there's more of this sort of grassy slope heading down, and there is a light, which is, as you go down the slope, the light gets a little bit more sort of bright. It's a flickering light, but aside from that, that's what you can see. It's all very dark.
I would like to go toward the light. The flickering.
And you go in and you hear the voice of your ancestors call to you, and that's the end. No,
save.
You sort of go towards this flickering light, and what you see is something. There's another shape. It's not as tall as the kind of clustered shapes that you saw further back. Mm-hmm. It's kind of square shaped. It's squat. It is definitely a lot bigger than you. And it seems to have these sort of little openings in it. There's sort of one on one side, and there seems to be one on its other side. It's sort of squarish, more like a kind of a box shaped. It's going to sort of got a bit of a conical top to it, and on either of the sides there are these little openings in it from which this light is emanating, and surrounding this large to you thing are more of those taller shapes that are sort of narrow at the bottom and quite sort of lumpy at the top.
But they don't move.
Nothing is moving. I mean, these taller shapes that surround the origin of the light are kind of swaying a little bit, but that's you all know what
It's a
wind
plant.
is.
Yeah,
Yes,
You can tell that it's a plant.
I'm going to take some basic kind of like rules of physics and nature for granted, and you're all gonna get that these are things that are moving because of the wind. But definitely the larger shape is not moving. There is light coming from inside it.
I will, because I've
That's a
snuck off
weird
ahead of
thing.
everybody for this. I want to climb up and peek into one of these holes. I purposely got away from everybody else so I could do this myself.
Meanwhile, we're like touching the tree bark and like, what is this?
Yeah, pretty much. We're like, this is a really scratchy rock. I see a little piece and I can tear it. Guys, it peels.
It's shedding. No.
I put it in my mouth because
Oh,
I saw Noki put the other one in her mouth, and this is not good.
I have a question for Ag. What is Ag doing?
Ag is probably sort of trying to keep an eye on everyone, slightly panicking, and probably as she sees Zaffre climb up, she gestures to the two others and says, "Shh! I think this is where we have to be quiet."
Okay.
I sort of munch on the bark in my mouth.
But you're able to go up to the side of this thing, and you quickly realize it's not alive. It's an inanimate thing.
I figured it was. It seemed to be.
It's kind of rough, bumpy. You can tell it's made of stone, but it's not dugout stone. It's like lots of stones piled one on top of the other to create something different. So you gather that it's something that's been constructed. Why on earth it would be above ground and not below is perplexing. But you're able to lean up to where this opening is, and it's kind of this transparent surface, and beyond it, sort of through this surface, which to you looks a bit like water or ice, maybe it's kind of solid, but you can see through it just about, and you can see light coming from there, and you can see a sort of a shape, quite a shape that you could assume is bigger than you, sitting on something,
moving inside. I will.
Yeah, kind of move, just shifting a little bit.
It's something large, which I instinctively am afraid of because it's bigger. But I am outrageously curious. So that is kind of those two, my lizard brain and my Knigget brain are fighting with each other. I kind of reach out with my claw and very gently touch this transparent surface, because I probably am thinking it's some kind of ice. But I'm curious as to why it's not cold.
It's quiet enough that it makes a tap, and ordinarily that would be a very kind of gentle tap. You see a movement inside that seems to be a reaction to the tap.
Duck down.
So I'm assuming that Og probably came up to both of us and did like grabbed each. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're probably face down in the meadow of grass. Like I'm trying to see what Zaffre is doing, and I would definitely how like audible was the audible enough that like the thing inside.
I think even as gently as Zaffre would touch the surface, it is an alien surface.
Oh yeah,
and I think it's like one of those things where you think an object is going to be heavier than it is, and you pick it up and you're your center of balance
Yeah.
is gone. I think
Or
this
the
is a
oth- or
similar
the opposite,
situation.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a similar situation where you were thinking of water, so you kind of went, I expect this to go blink, and instead it went
And that's like click.
tap.
Blink.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I think Ag and Meeza and Noki have heard
All right.
a tap.
If we hear the clink and see Zaffre
Mm-hmm.
do the, I definitely think at least Meeza's gonna kind of make themselves into a more tighter ball.
Okay.
Sort of, and like actually at this point, I think what they would have done is grabbed has before Og like shoved me into the Miado, I would have grabbed Grub, and so now I'm just sort of like football holding Grub down in the grass.
I want to kind of lean into Og and be like, can't we go see what's going on?
Is there any reaction we can see from inside? Do we see like a shape moving or anything like that?
You do. Basically, a shadow is kind of moves in front of the fire, and then you just see this light. I don't think Ag or Meeza or Noki would hear anything, but Zaffre, even without a perception, because you are on alert, so I'll give it as it's a given. You hear footsteps coming sort of towards where you are.
Okay, I pull out my sword, and I get into a position between them and the rest of the party. I'm going to stand between the two, my sword out, and a very serious look on my face.
You hear these footsteps, or the sound of something that sounds like footsteps, and they come to a stop, and you hear a very long sort of squeaking noise, like a creak, and all four of you are sort of temporarily blinded by the sort of the firelight that's coming from inside this building, this construction. And silhouetted in the sort of light is a figure who is sort of a little bit hunched, is very much leaning on the door, on this thing that they've opened for support, and their other arm is leaning on a stick. This figure they're backlit, so you can't really sort of make out, but they see you, and
because we did not hide.
You did not hide, and you hear a sort of a kind of feeble voice. Who are you? What are you doing in my fruit garden?